I don't be snapping my picture. You know I don't want to. Please. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Okay, Gert, you want to recite?
Huh?
You want to?
Say your poem.
Hey, let's get this booze off the table.
They know what's going on over here. We have our drams.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll see if I can remember. You
Wait a
have to
minute.
sit down, but you're making me nervous. I probably got it by now. Let me see. Oh,
Wait,
the
I'm not ready
title,
yet.
the title of the poem.
You can tell me the title of the poem.
The title of the poem is Somebody's Mother.
Oh. I never heard of it.
It's beautiful. I learned that in 4th grade. Now you know I've kept it in my heart for many years.
Mm-hmm.
I always memorize that poem. It's by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow or Greenleaf Whittier, one of those two writers. Which I'm not going to hold still forever.
Go ahead.
I don't know if I can do it. I never could be at the liberty. Let me see if I can recite that poem. I said I would recite that for the kids. Wait. The woman was old and ragged and gray, and bent with the chill of the winter's day. And the street was wet from the recent snow, and the woman's feet were aged and slow. She stood at the crossing and waited long, alone, uncared for, amid a throng of human beings who passed her by nor heeded the glance of her anxious eye. Then down the street with laughter and shout, glad at the freedom of school let out, came the boys like a flock of sheep, hailing the snow pile white and deep, past the children on their way. Oh, I knew I would forget it. Past the woman so old and gray, hastened the children on their way, nor offered a helping hand to her, so meek, so timid, afraid to stir, lest the carriage wheels of the horses' feet would crowd her down in the slippery street. Then at last came one of the merriest troop, and the gayest lady in all the group paused beside the old woman and whispered low, I'll help you across if you wish to go. Her aged hand she placed on his strong young arm, proud that his own was firm and strong. Then back again to his friends he went, his young heart happy and well content. She's somebody's mother, boys, you know, for all she's aged and poor and slow. And I want you fellas to lend a hand to help my mother, you understand, if ever she's poor and old and gray, and her own dear boy is far away. And somebody's mother bowed low her head. In her home that night in the prayer she said, was God, be kind to that noble boy, who's somebody's son in pride and joy. Isn't that a beautiful hymn?
Yeah.
I had to stumble. I never stumble on that beat.
That was good. I never heard that poem before. That was a good poem.
That's a beautiful poem. Ruby Lee tried to get me to come to her church and recite it, but Carmen.
Okay.
It's called the Children's Hour. Between the dark and the daylight, when the night is beginning to lower, comes a pause in the day's occupation that is known as the children's hour. Between my study, I seen the lamplight descending the broad hall stair, grave Alice and laughing Allegra and Edith with golden hair. A whisper and then a silence, yet I know by their merry eyes they are plotting and planning together to take me by surprise. A sudden rush from the stairway, a sudden raid through the hall. By those that are left unguarded, they enter my castle wall. They climb up into my turret, with their arms about me entwined, until I think of the Bishop of Bingham in his mouse tower on the Rhine. Then I say, do you think, old blue-eyed banditti, because you have scaled the wall, such an old mustache as I am, is not a match for you all? Then I have you fast in my fortress, and I will not let you depart, but put you down in the dungeon in the round tower of my heart. And there I will keep you forever, yes, forever and a day, till the walls shall crumble to ruin and mold and dust away. Now you have to know what it's all about to appreciate it. The old man, those are his grandchildren, and that's his dungeon is a place where his garage, you know, where he sit and they come into his privacy, and then he holds them so dear to his heart, and he will hold them until he dies. The dust will mold his heart away. And yeah.
Want to tell us about the poem?
Yeah.
What about Hiawatha? Do you remember Hiawatha?
No, all I can tell you about Hiawatha is there the wrinkled old Nokomas nursed the little Hiawatha, rocked him in his linden cradle, bedded soft and marsh and rushy, safely bound with reindeer sinews, still his fretful wail by saying, Ewah, my little island, who is this that lights the wigwam? With his great eyes lights the wigwam. Wawatasi, says the little quiet. Now they say, no, how does this start? No gal maid has got a shade like sweet Georgia Brown. Let me say, no gal maid has got a shade like sweet Georgia Brown. They all cry and sometimes die for sweet Georgia Brown.
Hey, you going, girl?
Fellow, she can't get off fellow. She ain't met. Georgia claims her Georgia name, her sweet Georgia Brown. But I used to know that.
She can't.
Bye, boys. I'm going to get married tomorrow. Goodbye, boys. I'm going from sunshine to sorrow.
No more
spooning
around the park tonight. Yeah.
No more staying out till broad daylight. We're going to rehearse from better to worse. So goodbye, boys.
Okay.
I heard a pickaninny crying. That's what they used to call it, pickaninny. I heard a pickaninny crying way down in Tennessee one night. Its little heart was nearly breaking just because it was.
Just because what?
It was not white.
Then his dear old mammy kissed him, and she said, child, see, Charlie. She said, child, don't you cry. Weep no more, my baby. Then she sang this Dixie lullaby. You better dry your eyes, my little cold black rose. You better go to sleep and keep those eyelids closed. Because your dog, don't you start a whining. You a cloud with a silver lining. So and every old crow thinks his baby's white as snow.
Sorry for making you laugh.
And your dear old mammy knows you mighty like a rose. And when the angels gave those kinky curls, they put a sunbeam in your disposition too. That's true. The reason you so black, I suppose. They forgot to give your mammy a talcum again. So don't you cry, don't you sigh, 'cause your mammy's little cold black rose.